Oh my, we have been on a wild goose chase, and I think it is coming to an end. I think we found it. It's a nice Denali there. I think this little truck is what we're looking for. Yep, that is it. Little Santa Cruz. I haven't been in one of these yet. I've seen them going down the road. Little pickup trucks.
And they're getting paid, close to six figures above after back.
Let's get that turned down. Huh, fancy. Let's get this out. We're going to talk about what happened the other night. Alright, so let's talk about it. If you haven't, I had to figure out how to get this seatbelt chime to go off. I just sitting here in it, getting ready to load up. So, if you didn't watch my last video, I was rear-ended on Thursday before Christmas by a drunk driver. Now again, if you didn't see the last video, I'm okay. He was okay. Like I said, other than him going to jail, he hit my trailer. And let me explain what happened first, and then I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna show you the damage in the daylight. So I'm driving 50 miles an hour. I've got the Expedition and that big dually on, so I'm a little heavy, and I'm driving 50 miles an hour down a road close to my house, which is like a 2-lane road. And I think the speed limit's 55. So I'm just going under the speed limit or the speed limit, and I feel this just bang, and I thought I blew a tire. And I look, and I thought I either blew a tire or I hit a deer that got under the trailer and I ran over it. But when I look like this into my passenger side mirror, I see a headlight. And I'm thinking to myself, what just happened? Did I not see this guy on the side of the road? Because I was jamming out. I'm got two hands on the wheel, and I'm just singing. I'm so happy because I'm almost home. I'm having a good time. And then I pull over. I get around. It's kind of like a downhill and down around a curve. So when I get down around that curve where it gets straight enough that I'm not right at the curve, I pull over. Well, the guy pulls over behind me, and I see the damage on his car, and no, that wasn't my fault. How did that happen? So his entire left front of his car is demolished. Headlights gone, control arms broken, shock towers bent. It's bad. So I'm like, this dude hit me from behind. How did he do that while I was going 50 miles an hour? So he pulls over and he gets out, and he's an older gentleman in his 70s, and he's like, well, what happened? I'm like, I'm assuming you rear-ended me. What do you mean what happened? Because I come back and see my trailer and see how just tweaked the ramp is and parts of his car laying on my trailer. And I'm like, what do you mean what happened? Well, we're on the side of the road, and there's like a little, I wouldn't say culvert, but like a little dip. I'll just say a little dip where there's water laying because it's been raining a lot. Well, he goes to walk across that to I guess get on away from the traffic side of things, and he falls. He falls straight on his face. I mean, his forehead was dragging the ground. There was no arms out. I was like, okay, this older gentleman, I'm thinking maybe, maybe a little dementia or something, whatever. Anyways, so I lock arms with him, to pick him up. I'm under his one shoulder, and I get under it, and I'm face to face with him like this, and I just smell alcohol. And I'm like, great, I have to involve the police now. I can't let this guy leave after doing this, obviously. I can't just exchange information with him. I can't, because what happens if instead of rear-ending me on the right side, he was on the opposite side of traffic and hit someone head on? If he doesn't know what happened, so I I call the police. I let them know what happened. Well, this guy starts rooting around trying to, like, he was like, well, we'll just exchange information and I'll get out of here. I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work. So I end up having to, while we're fiddling around exchanging information, and he's pretty, like, he's just blacked out. He's like looking, he's just like patting everything down. Like, he tore out all his center console, all his things, and was like taking pictures of his own license and his own information. And I was like, okay, this isn't good. So what I did was I reached in. When he went around the car, and I reached in and pulled his keys out. I was like, I can't let this guy try to, like, leave. Something bad's gonna happen. So the whole time he's like, I'm looking for my keys. Like, he's like, can you help me find my keys? We exchange information. I'll get out of here. And I was like, well, I gotta make sure my truck's all right. Sure enough, long enough, cops show up, and they did all their thing, wrote me a report, because I'm thinking that if this guy didn't know what happened, what happens with insurance when insurance says, like, well, our customer said it was your fault, or, so I just waited for the police report. They wrote me one, and they ended up taking him away. But I'm gonna hop out now, and I'll show you the extent of the damage to the trailer. I'm still able to use it to some capacity, but the manufacturer that makes, Iron Bull is not open till after the first of the year. So I can't get a price for the insurance company on these rear gates until after the first of the year, which I talked to the guy's insurance agent. I would have been yesterday, and she was like, can you tell me what happened? He wasn't really sure what happened. And I'm thinking, like, I'm not going to say anything, because, like, what happens if his insurance doesn't end up covering it? Like, I'm going to have to go after him, whatever. But she got all the information. I guess we're just gonna have to wait till after the first of the year, which is gonna end up turning into loss of wages, because while the trailer's getting fixed, I'm gonna be down. So let me show you what happened. So he hit me in this right rear corner here, and the gate was up. It was flipped all the way up. And so the extent of the damage is the gate, the ramp, or whatever you want to call it. This rod is tweaked because that one over there doesn't flip as it should as well. I don't know if it messed up any on that actual ramp. Like, that ramp would need to be replaced, but this one does. And the rod, and I'm guessing all this stuff, these are all bent, which I don't know if they come with the gate or how they ship them, but that's going to be the extent of that. Thankfully that's all, but still sucks. Still a crappy situation, because could have been avoided. It really could have been avoided, but I'm thankful that it was me that took the damage and got that guy off the road, and wasn't some family coming home from a Christmas party that was hit head on. So enough of that. Here's the one we're picking up. Little Hyundai Santa Cruz. We're at Bel Air's storage lot. Walk around here because I gotta get my inspection done on this thing, because it's been raining, so hard to see all the damages, but shouldn't be too much. I got 15,000 miles, even though it's extremely dirty. So get that out, and we'll get this thing loaded up. Is this thing on? Alright, well, this portion's gonna have to be a little POV, because that's still broken, and I'm actually having a hard time finding accessories for this camera. GoPro stuff is, you can buy an accessory bundle with all different kinds of mounts, whether it be like magnetic or adhesive or anything. All the little, like, screw things, and like to hold them in the different mounts. You can get like a 50-piece set for 30 bucks. You cannot find any accessories for these things, like, at all. They don't make kits of it, so it's kind of honestly, I was getting a little annoyed when I was on Amazon, and I just kind of, I mean, yeah, I want one more of those, but I would like, and I might end up having to just, excuse me, piece some things together to make different mounts. But I was gonna say something. Oh, so I got these two picked up today. I'm glad I ran over to that place. They let me get one. The other one does not have keys. It was supposed to have keys. And I'm not real interested in moving it without keys because the steering wheel's locked. And it's a Chevy Cruze, so it'd be work to get it on the trailer winching it because of it being a car, and without keys, they're just gonna have to relist it as no keys, which I would take it if I had the spot, but it's like they're not paying enough for me to move one with no keys and all that hassle. But I got lucky today. Both of these had keys and ran. So that Chevy's got a hole in the tire. It looks like someone stabbed it with a knife. And the Nissan I have is a 2023 with only 6,000 miles on it. And it's already been repossessed and is heading to the auction. The company who moves these is RPM. They have switched some of their rates. He told me for till the end of the year. Like, they had some vehicles, let's just say they were listed for 400 a piece. They were really, when you called in, they were dropping them down to like 255, 250, 290. He said we're not taking a bath on some of these vehicles till the end of the year. So I don't know what, maybe they were just figured like, if you really want to still run, here's what we're willing to pay. But I got a pretty good rate on both of these, especially that they both ran and drove. They both said in-op and have keys. And most of the time with these repos, if they are in-op but have keys, I would say over 50% of the time they're gonna run. They just need a jump. But what happens sometimes is they have keys, but they just have keys to unlock the door, the ignition. On the newer cars, they're not programmed. Like, if you see my buddy, his channel's Jack TV, he does repos, but he also cuts keys and programs them. The vehicle, when you're picking it up, it has a key and it can run and drive. You know, even if the debtor doesn't surrender their keys, you still have a set to be able to move it or drive it or whatever, go to auction, load it up, whatever the case is. So, got lucky. It's today is, I don't know, today's Thursday. I've got all of next week pretty much planned out, except probably one-ish leg of the week. Could have a little filler on the way back, but we'll see. Of course, Monday, holiday, that takes out Monday, so I'm again cramming 5-6 days worth of work into 4, and then the week after that, so like my next 2 weeks are already planned out, except for a little bit of filler. Like, I was supposed to go to Florida. I was supposed to be on my way to Florida right now. I didn't realize that the customers' vehicles, so for the auction, they say that check-in was from the 29th to the 1st, 8 to 6, something like that. Well, it's a 2-week auction. It's a massive auction. I think it's like 4,000 some cars. His don't run until the 10th. So he doesn't want his vehicles down there being picked through and people getting in and out of them and stuff, you know, 7 to 10 days before his even go off in the auction. So I said, well, I didn't realize they couldn't they could go down later. And he goes, yeah, I guess as long as they're there for the auction and get checked in. I was like, well, if that's the case, then I'll leave on like the 8th or the 9th and get them there for the 10th. That way everybody's happy. But I guess he's going down for the auction. He's got a house down there somewhere in Florida, so he's gonna go down for the auction. And I'm guessing he said he'd have the cars all ready for me. They were already ready, but he's just gonna make sure they're on battery tenders and put my check there for me to pick up. So that's the next 2 weeks worth of work. Well, we got ourselves another repo picked up here out of Richmond, Virginia. Someone decided to slash that tire. But 2021 1500. Not a bad little truck. It does have some damage, other than that tire being someone stuck a knife in it or something. It's got some of this missing over here, but just like all of them, headed to the auction. Now, I've got another repo lot I'm supposed to go to, but their communication hasn't been the best. I sent them an email yesterday at about 9 a.m. They sent me an email back at 9:30 p.m. and didn't answer any of the questions. I'm gonna look up how far away they are from here. I may just try to show up and just be like, hey, I tried to reach out yesterday, and at least get one of the ones that are there picked up. Because I don't think both of them, there should be 2 there that I'm gonna get, but I don't think one of them's ready to go. So I guess we'll see what happens there. I'm pretty sure I know what's gonna happen. They're just gonna be like, well, you didn't call ahead or set an appointment. It's gonna be, I tried to. And when the person emailed me back, they never answered any of my questions, which I think is language barrier. Seeing the last name on the company, I'm gonna assume it's a little bit of a language barrier, and that's why they didn't get back to me, or they didn't respond to all my questions. So I'm gonna get this thing strapped down and get out of here. I gotta back all the way out of here, so this is gonna be fun. This is just a dead end road, and they give you absolutely nowhere to turn around. So get this one strapped down and on to the next, or hopefully. Well, this is a little bit of a different view. Back in the old Mega Slab, got her back on the road. Using it around town today. Right now I've got my single car enclosed hooked up. It is Friday. I'm trying to get prepared for next week. Next week's gonna be a go week, and if I can get one of my items picked up, which is a toolbox, from one Jaguar dealer to another. That's the dealership's paying to relocate this guy and this and that, and I'd booked a load through this broker for something else, and he said, hey, I have this other one coming up in a couple of days. Would it be something you'd be interested in? And I said, well, what is it? He goes, well, it's a toolbox. I said, what kind of toolbox? How big is it? Does it have help loading? This, that, is it tall? Does it need to go, it's going enclosed, this and that. So, come to find out, it's a Matco toolbox. It's not tall. It is big, but it's not tall. It's nothing like I haven't moved before. I just don't like real tall, top heavy stuff. I'd rather not. So, he said, it's just a regular, the bottom portion of a toolbox. And it's going from Maryland to South Carolina, and it's paying like $1.75 a mile for just a toolbox. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I've got a little bit of time to fill in, and I can make a trip out of it because I got to wrap up some other loose ends with the enclosed trailer. So I'll put it in, I'm going to pick it up in this one, and I'm going to transfer it over to my big one later on. So getting in and out of the dealership down here in the city might be a little tough with the big enclosed, so I brought this one. So $1.75 a mile for a 1,500 pound toolbox is say it's 1,500 pounds. I don't know. Help loading, help unloading. All I gotta do is strap it and go. I'm not gonna really complain about that. When it's gonna help me tie up some other loose ends and get some other stuff moved that I need to move. So we'll be down here in about 15-20 minutes. Drop the gate, push it in, strap it down, and we'll be on our way. All right, well, good morning. Sun's just coming up. We are here at our pickup. We're right by the Dulles Airport. Oh, you can go in that. This is a rental car place. But there's a United Cargo place, and so I am picking up some of these detailing vans, and I'll show you them when I get over there. But guy was supposed to meet me here at 7:30. I see a couple people in there, but I'm gonna give him a call. Got his number, and figure out exactly where he is and where he wants me. So these are from a company called Spiffy. What they are, they're mobile car detail and oil change vans. As you can see, these ones have been put quite through the ringer, all beat up, but they're headed back to the headquarters. And these things, they don't look like it, but they weigh 7,000-8,000 pounds a piece because of all the mobile detailing equipment they have inside of them. They are chock full with oil pumps, water tanks, pressure washers, everything.